My wife and I had a baby about 10 months ago, and he's recently started to get really mobile, which means he's getting into everything. So as I'm currently in the process of baby-proofing my entire house, I thought I'd share some of the things I've found that are most important when baby-proofing your home. To utilize electrical covers and secure cabinets. Electrical outlets and cabinet doors are well within a crawling or walking infant's reach. Babies are seemingly attracted to everything they shouldn't be, including electrical outlets. Cabinet doors are also another huge risk for trouble. That's where outlet covers and cabinet door latches come in. Plastic outlet plugs are cheap and easy protection that are inserted into the wall that can be unplugged when you need to use them. I bought this 36-pack on Amazon for $2.99. There are a ton of options for cabinet door latches, including magnetic release, push to open, or cabinet door straps like these ones, which attach to the face with peel and stick tape. If you don't want to spend the money on latches and want to secure cabinets you hardly ever use, you can always just add a zip tie around the door pulls to keep them closed. It's obviously not a great solution if you need to get into cabinets all the time, but if you're not using the cabinet, you just want to keep it closed, it's a great easy fix. Cover sharp corners. Toddlers seem to have a magnet in their head that is attracted to sharp corners like the edges of a coffee table or a fireplace hearth. Go around your house and look for head height areas that could potentially be dangerous for your child if they smack their head on it. I installed a bunch of these rubber peel and stick corner guards I picked up on Amazon for 12 bucks. You could also cut up a pool noodle as a cheap alternative for covering sharp corners. To make contained play areas. Baby gates and containment areas are essential for making sure your new little moving machine doesn't end up where they're not supposed to be the second you take your eye off them. Create dedicated play areas where you can put your toddler that you know are baby safe. Adding play mats or carpet are great if you have hardwood or other hard flooring in the area. Obviously, you still want to keep a close eye on them, but having a dedicated play area can allow you to not have to chase them around the house a little bit. Safely secure firearms and weapons. If you keep firearms or other weapons in the house, it is crucial to keep them properly locked up. Accidents can happen in a split second that can have devastating consequences on a family. Secure safes are essential, and keeping a weapon out of someone else's hands is your responsibility as the owner. To keep valuable or dangerous household items out of reach. One of the simplest things to do that often doesn't cost a cent is to store anything that could be broken or pose a threat to the baby completely out of their reach. These items can include cleaning products, chemicals, tools, kitchen utensils, and so on. Find a secure area like a high shelf or in the garage, or even a latching cabinet that you can place dangerous items up and out of reach of your curious toddler who just wants to touch everything and put it in their mouth.
Babies typically start crawling at about 7 to 8 months, so this is a really good time to start adapting your home to make it safer before they start pulling themselves up or walking around. Now, I'm obviously not a professional, I am just a mum, and this is what I've done to make my home safer for my 3 boys. I swear my boys could walk into a padded room and find the one dangerous plug socket in that room and try and play with it. So before I get into any of the tips, my biggest tip is to just never leave your baby unattended. If you have a baby that is about 2.5 and under, just never leave them alone because they will find that dangerous thing in a room and potentially hurt themselves. So I'm going to start out with a few general tips and products that we love to use. These little plug protectors are brilliant to have in the boys' bedrooms. There is a plug socket really close to Jackson's cot, so I make sure that these are in those plug sockets. We also like using these little corner protectors. They're clear and I found them on Amazon. I'll put the links down below. But I just literally put this on any corners that are head height for the boys and that could potentially hurt them. So yeah, these are brilliant. And if your baby is like mine and has an interest in chargers, make sure you unplug them every day. And same goes for hair straighteners or hair curlers. Make sure they are unplugged if you're not using them. And also, when it comes to tall units, if it's taller than it is wide, you need to fix it to the wall. We used to have a leaning mirror, which was an accident waiting to happen. So we have now fixed it to the wall so that no one can pull it over on themselves. If you have more than one child as well, make sure that tiny toys like Shopkins are out of reach of your babies. What I do is I make my eldest, Fraser, keep those kind of small toys in his bedroom, and then they are out of the way for Jackson. As soon as Jackson started to roll over, nappy changing became really challenging, so what I tend to do now is just change his nappy on the floor on a mat. It's so much safer than him wriggling around on the changing table. One product that is definitely an essential is stair gates. You will want to get this at the bottom and top of your stairs, and the ones that we have are really, really good. I'll link them down below. What I like about them is there is no bar along the bottom that you or your children could trip over. We also have a stair gate on Jackson's bedroom so that I can put him into his bedroom with his toys when I'm getting ready in the morning, and I know it's a very safe room. When it comes to keeping your baby safe in the bath, obviously never leave them unattended, and I tend to just put enough water into the bath that goes over their legs. And when they were really tiny, I did have a little temperature thing to check that it was about 37 degrees in the bath, but now that he's older, I just test it with my arm. Also, when Jackson hit about 6 months, I got him this really cool seat to sit in the bath so that he couldn't fall over. And now that he's older, we have a non-slip mat in the bath so that he can't slide over and under the water. I also got this little tap cover as well. I will link it down below, but this literally just goes over the tap because Jackson did hurt his back once when he was standing up in the bath. So this just protects him. You could just put like a jug or something else over the tap, but obviously they could pull that off. So yeah, I think this is really cute as well. Moving on to safety in the kitchen, your children will definitely want to get into the cupboards. You can get cupboard locks, but what I do is I just make sure that anything that could be potentially dangerous, like chemical cleaners, knives, things like that, are up very high. And then I actually put things in the lower cupboards that I would be happy for Jackson to go through. So we have one cupboard that he loves that just has cans in it, and he'll just pull them out and roll them along the floor. And we also have another cupboard that is just full of their plastic cups, so he is free to like play in that cupboard. And I think it's quite nice that he has that and that we haven't locked everything away. To prevent burns, make sure that you keep your tea up high and out of reach. Tea can still burn your baby up to 15 minutes after it's been made, so it's really important that you keep it out of reach. And when you're cooking with pots and pans, just make sure that you turn the pot handles away from the side of the kitchen counter. Jackson is going through a really clingy stage at the moment, and he wants to be held even when I'm cooking dinner, but that obviously could be potentially dangerous because I'm making hot food. So what I do is I put him into his high chair with his strap on and give him a few snacks to eat while I'm finishing off the dinner, and that way he's out of harm's way. When it comes to your baby's cot, you've probably already heard that lots and lots of fluffy blankets could potentially be dangerous, and babies under the age of 2 don't actually need pillows. I don't think ours even used a pillow till they were 2.5 or 3 years old. And as soon as my babies could roll, we lowered the cot so that it was at the lower setting so they couldn't roll out or pull themselves up. And as soon as they were sitting up as well, we removed the cot mobile because this could potentially be dangerous as well. And similarly to the kitchen, what I said about moving things up high, if you have any chemical cleaners or prescription drugs, things like that, it's definitely worth putting them up high and out of reach, especially those little tablets for like detergent. They can look like sweets to kids, so it's really important that you get them up high. And if your baby has an interest in the toilet, you can get those like toilet locks for the seat. Jackson does not seem bothered in the slightest, but obviously if your baby is interested, you can get those. One other thing that we do in our house, which I didn't even realize you could do when Fraser was born, is we have now got all cordless blinds upstairs and shutters downstairs. So we literally just have a little remote and it makes the blinds go up or down. And I love that we actually have no cords upstairs. Right, so that is it for this video. I really hope you liked my tips. Please share any of yours in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around. I post 3 videos a week all about motherhood, and I would love to have you. So yeah, thanks a lot. Bye.